Hello, everyone. This is Zach.
Hey, it's Vic. What's happening?
Welcome to another edition of GBC Live, one we're pretty excited about. Very pleasant surprise. We both did Everyone Loves Raymond last year, and it got postponed a couple of times. It's actually worked out great for us, and we were able to originally, like, we had planned to do the long course, which are the two loops, but I know due to scheduling we were only able to do the small loop, and we were like, it's better that we actually broke it up and
Yep.
be able to experience something new.
And also, it was just a beautiful course, regardless of how long you rode. It didn't matter if you did the short, middle, or long. It was an amazing course and perfect conditions. And we got really lucky with the greenery because apparently it's typically brown and it was all green and full of water. So it worked out well.
It's interesting. Like, I prepped a fly through that we'll be going through the Growler course. We did the Pine course, which I had my number 2 ride of the year, which is really close to. It was edging between number 1, but the Growler course is the Western loop, which is longer. Starts a little bit earlier. Sorry, Vic. Maybe we can talk to Henry about straightening that out.
Yeah, I don't like getting up too early. No, it's all good.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited. So let's bring Henry in here from the Fresno Cycling Club.
The man.
Hey there.
How's it going?
Doing okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are you going to leave Jeopardy on the TV behind you, or?
Well, we do watch it every night. We're old people.
I love Jeopardy.
So, yeah, last year, the funny thing going into this whole thing is I've done like a few gravel rides in the foothills of the Sierras. And, one of the things that you tackle, like Vic said, if you go at different times of the year, it can be a little bit drier, a little bit hotter. This was like the perfect time of the year, but also the riding itself was a lot of fun. And I know you live in Madera, which is just underneath, and you've done a lot of rides in the foothills. But how long ago did you decide to put this out as an event?
Well, I'm on the board of the Fresno Cycling Club, and so the first inkling that I got in my head was to have Raymond as a free ride for club members, and I thought it'd be awesome, 40, 50 miles and the club would support it and have some aid out there. But aside from that, you're kind of on your own. And then it kind of, when I presented it to the board, it kind of morphed into, wow, this could be a gravel event, And so, so we did it at, Raymond is kind of my closest big good gravel to where I live. So I've been riding there since I started 2012, and there was from 2014 to 2018 there was another gravel event out there, Rumble in the Ranchlands. I don't know if you recall that one, and that was super pro racing, Murphy Mack from out of the Bay Area. Anyway, so that started up higher and then came down, but included a lot of the same loop that we ride. But and that was in March. And so when we sort of conceived Everyone Loves Raymond, I didn't want to go head to head with another event. So we thought, well, we'll just do it in November. And we did November, and actually that was 18, 19, we skipped 20, and then 21 in November, and it was pretty good. It was good. It was fun, and kind of just what we wanted it to be. Well, then that Super Pro event just disappeared, and so I went to the board and I said, we got to do this in March because it is the time of the year to ride out there. And so we did it in November of 21, and then 5 months later in March of 22, and it was great. And then you guys rode it last year, and I mean, it was great. So knock on wood, let's hope that it holds out. Although, we had 2 postponements last year, and only because we were darn lucky that the park was still open on the rescheduled dates, and our food and all the stuff that goes into it. It had to kind of have been a perfect storm that we were able to actually do it on the day that we did. So thankful.
So I want to know how you made the pro race disappear. Tell us the secret.
Hey man, I'm in the Teamsters Union, brother.
I'm gonna throw on the video from last year. While we talk, if I can figure this out. This was from the Pine Course, which is the 35 miler. First of all, I know one thing is kind of like unique is that camping is allowed, right? For people that want to come early. And I forgot to ask, do people have to register to camp?
You do. And actually, there's a place on the registration form. A word on that, though, right now is we have to cut the number of campers off because we need to have room to park all of the riders, and so we're pretty close to our limit right now. However, right down the road, an 8-minute drive away, is the Hensley Lake campground, and that's nice. We've camped there before, and there you can get a shower. Plus, they have electricity at the campsite. So, it's not, you're not right there, but then again, you've got some amenities that we can't offer there at Raymond. So
what's the name of it again? Hensley?
It's Hensley Lake Campground.
Hensley Lake. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Now quickly, like if people have been watching the video, I know like this is no matter which course you do, this is the start, but very soon I guess we kind of veer off.
Right.
And then this is kind of like the point of like where we continue on. This is for the Pine Course, and
that's a big descent down into what they call Bailey Flats. That road it's Road 800, but it's also known as Bailey Flats Road.
That's the GBC imposter.
Yeah, it's my friend Rob Sanders. He's a good guy.
Well, it's a green shirt. Maybe I can try and do some keying and get the switch. And before we get into the to the other one, like tell us like a little bit about the Fresno Cycling Club itself, because I mean you guys put on events. They're not races, they're not even races. Wink, wink. They're
no. Yeah, I'm told that that's an insurance issue, but as you guys both know, when 2 people pin a number on bikes, it may not be classified as a race, but it kind of becomes a de facto race. Mm-hmm. But we acknowledge the top finishers in the long ride, the kegger, and we've thought of the way we could do it is to have segments. Which it's every year it's, hey, should we do that? And it always ends up getting put on the back burner. So it may happen sometime, maybe not.
Well, I would vote for that. That's how they did Grinduro. It made it
right.
Yeah.
Well, to me, my vote is no, because it was just so pretty out there that, I think like a lot would be lost. There's certain courses where you say, this is a fantastic setting. I want to see, I want to enjoy it.
Yeah. But Zach, it would just be short segments. Like you could just have 3 segments, 3 times.
Yeah.
Segments.
Like everyone's favorite Acton grade there, that hill.
Maybe the little parts that aren't the most scenic, which is I mean, this thing's almost 100% scenic, but there are, you know, a couple little sections you could have a little time thing just for fun.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't detract from the overall, you know,
We've
scenic
talked,
value
we've
of
talked
it.
about it. We've
Yeah.
talked about it, and I think that's a good way to go if we do go that way.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, just nothing like, you know, like your club is very, very active. You know, some clubs are lucky just to put together one event. And, you know, Vic and I, we did the Grizzly last year, but out of North Fork, which is, you know, a few miles east of this area, a little higher up in the Sierra. But, you know, you also have like monthly rides. There's the Climb to Kaiser.
Climb to Kaiser is one of ours. We have a ladies' ride, a Tour de Femme. That's an event that we have. Our club does the Bass Lake Double Century, and so it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of involvement on events. You know, is that too much? I don't know. It's two-edged sword because you know, we like to have people here and ride in our area and share what we have, you know. But you know, on the other hand, it's you know, all it's involved in putting an event on, and our club is getting older. The membership is getting older, which is, you know, we're at that point where we're trying to, you know, get new members, and, you know, gravel riding has helped. I sort of has been my pet project, you know, to get the whole gravel riding thing going, because I like it, I love doing it, and I want to share it, you know, and so I think it's worked to some degree.
Well, I know a lot of people are excited about it. There's a fan here, Lauren. Love the Grizzly Century, right? ELR. Now the Grizzly, I forgot, it's a gravel ride, but there's also road options. It's more too, but
and it has been a road ride for many years. The gravel option has only been the last 2, 3 maybe. Yeah. It's a great spot. Great riding around there.
Now, one thing is on the video here. This is the Acton grade, which is, you could see, I think more people are walking their bikes than biking. But Vic and I, we decided to stay on.
I've walked up that more than once.
We rode the whole thing, but it was definitely challenging.
It's a grind.
Yeah,
it's
that was
grind.
a grind. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know, like, the people that were doing that, walking, I didn't see too many people with super angry faces because was pretty. It was a small pittance to pay.
Yeah, it's a mile.
Yeah,
it's a mile. You know,
and you're looking down the Chowchilla River and that whole valley there. So it's not. It's a beautiful time of the year. You know, the trees, you can see, don't exactly bring in the leaves this time of year, but it just allows you to see much further out.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Just, you know, the colors that are just starting to come in, which seems like we have I mean, have you ridden out there lately? Is it all green right now?
Yeah, is it brown?
It's not quite brown, but it's not quite green yet. It's getting there, and then of course this rain that we're getting now, that's gonna really give it a good kick.
So there'll be water in the river again.
I think there should be.
Yeah,
I think there should be. We went. I did the pint about 3 weeks ago, and there was water in the river then, which is, you know, unusual.
Well, and we still have 7 weeks, and February is supposed to be the rainiest month, and looks like everyone in California is already, you know, buying their boats to get through this next week.
For real.
So I don't think the greenliness, even the word, is a problem.
It'll be good.
The greenliness.
Everyone understood it, so let's.
I knew exactly what he was talking about.
I got it.
So it does start on a Saturday. There is food after.
Yes.
And I know that. Well, we'll get into some of the dynamics when we bring the big model in, which I will start to pull in here.
Okay.
But I noticed you're wearing a T-shirt,
And we're my stainless steel. We're giving those away this year.
Okay, wait. Back to food. Back to food. So Henry, you have to have at least one vegan option.
Okay, I'm working on that.
3 or 4 would be ideal, but at least one.
Okay. All right. So noted, sir.
All right, I'm going to hold you to it.
All right.
Even if I have to cook it in my camper.
Whatever. If it's edible, I'll eat it.
Okay.
So here I have the this is the Growler course.
Okay.
Which is about 60 miles?
59.5 miles, I think, is what it comes out to.
Yeah. I'm sure you've walked every inch. What I did in this map here was the yellow is road, the red is dirt, and it's almost 2/3 dirt. So that is a lot. And let's guide us through. Well, you just tell me where to go.
Okay, well, so there's the park there. Pull out of the park and you get on 600 there, and you head toward Raymond, the town. It's 1.2 miles, and you make a left on 613 there.
Now this, I know I had in the video, but this is the Raymond store right here.
Raymond General, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one dates from the early 1900s, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, so I'm sorry. So we're starting the opposite direction than last year, because we went up that steep hill when we left the park last time. Or am I twisted around?
No. This is the same start.
Same start.
And we went down. We went by the general store here, and then we all made this left turn here.
Yeah, and then it starts to climb a little bit.
Okay, and then where we diverged is this spot right here.
Road 800, yeah.
Towards the Chowchilla.
Mm.
So yeah, take us through this part here, because I guess we're still going on roads.
All pavement.
All pavement.
Kind of rolls a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That long straight shot right there, it's kind of cool looking. It just rolls. It's just got the roll going on. And then at the end of that, road hooks left, and you descend about 1.5 miles, 2 miles down to the river bottom there.
Which river is this?
That is the Chowchilla River, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it loops around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to put the whole mountains into.
Yeah. Okay. So a pro tip that right at that Raymond Bridge there, when I'm doing gravel rides, when I'm leading gravel rides during the year, we drive all the way down there to start, because no one wants to climb all the way back up into Raymond. They only want to do it on Raymond event day. So we start down there. They've got a pit toilet and but zero cell service. But anyway, so from there it's about 2 miles out, and the paved road turns up the hill, but we go straight, and that's where it turns to dirt. So the dirt starts.
I have it at mile 8.
Yeah.
And
it rolls a little bit at first. You'll take a kind of a short little punchy climb, and at that point, if you look to your left, you can see Eastman Lake. It's kind of a nice shot of Eastman Lake. There you go.
Oh wow, that's big.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a nice you climb up to that spot, and then from then on it rolls a little bit more. You descend, kind of come around a corner, and then at 10 miles, you get to, okay, so at this point you're on Preston Road. At 10 miles, Preston Road actually turns to the left, but we stay straight, and that turns into Westfall Road. It's marked, we'll have it marked with signs and stuff like that. But at that point right there is an old smelter that they used for the copper mine, the Green Mountain copper mine out there. So, and as you're riding, I wish I could be with you guys that day, because there's a smelter right there.
Okay.
Because as you're riding on the pavement right before you hit the dirt, you can look up and you can see at least 2 or 3 of the mines that have been filled in there. It's really interesting to me.
I love the context.
I just like that word smelter.
Yeah, isn't that a good one? Yeah, but that's definitely a picture spot, because in the we may have some poppies there, but that's a real poppy spot right there. So I may have posted pictures of that spot right there, but it's neat. But anyway, you go straight and you continue on Westfall Road, and it's kind of a gentle-ish climb, and then you get to a point where it just starts to roll a little bit, and I made some notes here. So on Westfall Road, after you pass the smelter, another mile or 2, and then you cross a cattle guard, and you're in open range. So there are cattle there, which is another thing to look out for, and it's pretty much open range for the next 6, almost all the way down. Well, actually, yes, all the way down to the rest stop, which is at 16.
Okay.
Mile 16. Yeah.
So we'll be
from there back
for
out
6 miles.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, sometimes they're not there. It's really weird. It just depends.
Flip a coin. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So
Well,
sometimes. Go ahead.
Oh no, it looks like there's a lot of space to see them. You're not.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, nobody's gonna sneak up on you. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a little descent going down into that aid station. That's at White Rock Road. You make a right-hand turn, and then from there, the road pretty much starts to climb for about the next almost 4 miles. It pitches up again. It pitches up right before you hit the gate at Beach Road.
I can see this right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. It's kind of cool because you can see people up there, and it's like, wow, that looks hard. So at that point, you get to this Beach Road, and there is actually a gate there. It's private property on either side of the road, but the road is a Mariposa County road. So we're allowed there. We're not allowed to leave the road. But there's a gate there, and we have a monitor at that gate. And so as people are coming, I monitored that gate myself for the first couple of years. And so, when you can see the riders coming up the hill, nobody's going to flash by you. You open the gate, let everybody through, because there are cattle there. That's completely open range too. Yeah. And that's a neat little road. There will be, if there's water around, there are a couple spots on that road that you'll cross a little stream. There's one that's last year was substantial, and that's closer to the other end. But it's a cool road. There are a couple of pretty decent climbs on it. It's 2.6 miles. It's one of my favorite stretches of road up there. It's really cool. It's really cool. And then at the other end, there's another gate. We have another monitor there, and she will open the gate there, let you guys through. So this road is Ben-Hur Road, which you'll find runs. It's the same road, but it kind of runs all the way through there.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were on pavement before, that was Ben-Hur Road, and then it turned up the hill, and we went straight to go to the dirt. But this is where it meets back up with that road. So you make the quick left as you come off of Beach Road, and then a quarter mile or less later, you turn right on Silver Bar, and that's dirt. Now on your on this map and on the Ride with GPS map, it shows that entire Silver Bar stretch as dirt. It's not. That's kind of a deal. It's the first 2.5 miles or so are dirt, and then it turns to pavement, and then you descend on the other side, and that's about a 2-mile stretch of pavement down to the stop sign at Ben-Hur Road.
Okay.
That's a neat stretch of road. When you're at the top of Silver Bar there, you can look out and you can see one of the casinos, and you can kind of, it's a great shot. I mean, it pretty shows it pretty well right there.
It looks like there's a lot of people kind of nestled within the hills here.
Yeah, actually, when you get to the stop sign right there where the red turns to yellow, you're less than 5 miles away from the town of Mariposa.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's got a lot of history.
yeah, that's for sure. So you make that left there, and you're on pavement. I've got my. Okay, so you go straight there on Ben-Hur, and then technically Ben-Hur makes a left-hand turn at 31. You'll be 31.5 miles in, but you stay straight, and that turns into Buckeye. There's kind of a lot of that, the same with at the smelter. It's like Preston goes to the left, but you go straight, and it turns into Westfall. This is Ben-Hur will go to the left, and it's pretty obvious, and we mark it, but it turns into Buckeye there. And so you continue straight. You're still on pavement. At 33.8 miles, you get the aid station there at the top. That's at the corner of Buckeye there and Old Highway, which I think is the old Highway 140. We've got a rest stop there that's kind of on the corner on the right there, right on that wide open spot there on the right. And then when you leave there, you head, I guess it would be west on Old Highway.
And it does not look flat. Looks
no, yeah, it's
but no,
not.
we're here for it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is you continue on Old Highway for it's less than 2 miles, and then there is the top of White Rock. So you want to make sure you make that turn. We mark it. I think this year we're going to have a monitor there, just to make sure, because if you don't turn off, you're going to end up in Merced. You definitely want to make sure you make that turn.
Okay.
And then once you turn there, it's about 3/4 of a mile, the worst pavement you're ever going to ride in your life. And it's a very fast descent. So I mean, it's a little tricky. So just to keep that in mind. But the road, White Rock Road, it descends down to Mariposa Creek, and it's kind of cool. You transition onto dirt, and it's in the past it's been like really smooth and almost groomed. And then when you get down to the level of the creek, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, it washed out that area.
Oh wow!
And it was just, to call it baby heads would be generous and kind, because it was it was pretty technical. It was pretty rough. I rode it last year. It was better, but we just don't know what it'll be like after the rain, because that creek floods all the time. And so you'll come down that, and you'll be next to the creek, and then the road will turn really crappy, and then there'll be you can see a bridge there that you cross over. And that bridge, a couple of times when I've been there, you could see that the water was way over the top of the bridge. You could see all the debris hung up and everything like that. And one time I was coming up after I crossed the bridge and came up, and I looked down, and there's a fish laying on the road. So,
Wow.
Okay, this is pretty flooded. So
will you still have the aid station if there's fish available, or that's
it's an option.
Okay.
It's an option. Yeah. But so from there, that road kind of climbs out. It's got a couple of switchbacks where you kind of you hug the side of the mountain there. And let's see, I have it written down here. It's 2.5 miles, average 4.6% with an 11% max. And that takes you up to right above where that beach road turnoff was. So then you start that descent.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. So right about there is where you summit, and then you start down. About a half mile later, you pass that beach road turnoff, but you keep going straight. So that is the string of the balloon on a string. So you've completed the balloon, and now you're just going back the way you came. But it is, we kind of tease. It's like, oh, out and back, but it really is a completely different road going out and going back. It's because it's you are descending, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty fast. I have scared myself there more than once, and so I just kind of take it easy now. But so then you pull into the rest stop there, 44 miles. And sometimes there are beverages there at that time. They may be there. Have you done Lost and Found? Have you done Lost and Found?
No.
Oh yeah. Well, every once in a while, at one of the last rest stops, they will tank you up. But anyway, so then you make that left. You kind of climb up that little climb there, and then you're back on the open range. And 6 miles, and you're at the smelter. Another 2 miles, and you're back on pavement. And then you are following the road back to town. I've got it written down here. Okay, so after you cross that Raymond Bridge, you get to the climb out of there, 1.2 miles, 6.2 average, 11% max. So when I have ridden the whole thing, I just kind of ride all day with that 1 mile in mind, because I want to make it up there. And there are just a couple spots where you can kind of get sucked down into the apex of the turn, and it's really steep there. So that's something I always try to pay attention to is my line coming out of that on that climb.
You mean at a switchback, like where it ramps up really tight in the middle of a switchback?
Right. And and if you're, it's like at that point you're 53 miles into it. You're thinking about what you want to drink or whatever, and oh my gosh, I'm in this churn, and now I'm at 17% grade.
Right,
so,
right.
But just you just watch yourself, and it's okay. And I was surprised I was able to do the ride, participate on the event day 2 years ago, and I was just all day. I mean, it rained. It was quite the day, but I got to that point, and it was very steamy. And I thought, oh man, am I going to be okay with this? And I was, because I saved I save those matches, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
But and so then from then you're running on adrenaline all the way back to the finish, where you can relax and sit around and talk about how great you are.
How much gain is on the whole ride?
I want to say it's 5,700. Let's see, I got it written down. 5,600. 56, just over 5,600.
Okay.
It's tricky though. It's a little tricky, because it a lot of it comes, like a lot of rides at the same time. Just the hills are kind of bunched up. So, but it's not. It's depending on the weather. It's not hard. It's fun. It's a fun ride. The route is fun, and you going through the gates and going over the water and going over the little bridge there, and it's one that I enjoy riding.
Picking up fish and running from bulls.
Hey man, you can teach a man to fish, right? Isn't that
something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh man.
Well, and like this is kind of like the wheelhouse of like when you want to ride this area is.
Oh, for sure.
For
sure, yeah.
Birth of spring around that time.
Well, and last year the cycling club, they did kind of a reorganization because in the fall we were getting a ton of rides at one time, so they wanted to spread them out. So we got bumped to February 25th last year. The year before we were in March. And then, we know what happened. Atmospheric River. It's like, we were right up to the day. It was touch and go until I saw that the snow level was going to be at 2,000 feet, and the top of our ride is 2,300 feet. So it wasn't going to happen for us. So then we bumped it 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks it was still washed out. And there is a part of Westfall Road last year during the Atmospheric River. There was a pipe going under the road. It completely blew out. I rode out there, and there was probably 75 feet of road that was just completely blown out.
Whoa.
And so I was in contact with the roads department in Mariposa, and that this was probably in about this time of year, mid to late January, and they didn't seem to think there was any problem with it. And doggone it, they had that thing done in about 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And you will be able to see the spot. You can tell when you ride over it. It's I think it's a 6-foot culvert that they had to dig out and replace. But we were lucky.
Well, how do you have that much pull?
I know. We can't even get Ventura Boulevard repaved.
I just mentioned your guys' name, and then they just
No.
No.
Oh,
a lot of people here, a lot of great comments here that have done this before. So definitely, I'm not blowing anything up people's things, because definitely everyone who's been on this ride is a lot of great comments here, flowing in here, which is great. And but I know this is, you guys don't put on, aren't here, you're a local club. This isn't like a BWR or one of those events. And that's kind of like the beauty of it, is because it's all volunteers from the club, and everyone there seems to know each other, and you see a good amount of people wearing the different iterations of the Fresno Cycling Club jersey.
Yeah, there are a lot. Well, Fresno Cycling Club's been around since 1962.
Wow, that's as long as I've been around.
Kind of started as a, I guess as a when I was 2 years old. It kind of started as a racing team, and but the club sort of supported it, and then it just became a little bit more. I mean, it's morphed. I've been a member since '08, and it's changed a lot. I mean, it's changed a lot, and then for the better, I think.
Now, one question I always get on a lot of these events, like what's a great tire to use for, or a great size tire for this type of event?
Well, one thing about the roads in Raymond is they can be, and the side that you guys did the last time probably is going to be smoother. You know, they because more people live out there, to be honest with you, and they scrape those roads. They get washboarded, but then they scrape them again. So the dirt there is generally free of the big chunks and rocks. On the side that you guys are going to be on this time, it can get pretty chunky. It can get chunky and it can get kind of ruddy. You know, it's Raymond granite. You know, I mean, there's a lot of, it drains pretty decently, but there's a lot of chunk in the on the road. So I feel good. I feel good on a 40, let's say I rode my 43s out there, the Gravel Kings, the SSs, the smooth ones, and I hit a chunk and I got it flat. So, and you know, I thought my pressure was good, but it's, you know, it depends on your comfort level. You don't need a mountain bike tire, and we've had guys ride road bikes on this ride, believe it or not. So, of course, a couple of them have destroyed wheels, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I would say, you know, if you feel good on a 38 or 40, maybe air it down just a little bit, but I mean, you're okay. It's your own comfort level. Yeah, it's your own comfort level. I like those 40. I've ridden 42s out there, and those Gravel Kings, they measure up a little wider than 43, but it's about right.
Now, for people that are coming from out of town, couple questions. You know, if they don't get a camping spot, you know, what are some recommendation of places that you know they can stay? What areas? Because like, isn't Madera like about 45 minutes away?
Actually, Madera, I can make from my house, I can make it up there in 35 minutes.
Okay.
But as I mentioned before, that Hensley Lake campground, it is an 8-minute drive from the park there, and it really is a nice little campground. And they've got 100 spots or something like that. So it's not $10 like it is to camp there at the park, but you know, you get a little bit more too. You get a little bit more. They offer a little bit more. So
it's probably more like $50 or $60. Right?
I think it's actually, Vic, I think I checked today, and it's it was $40.
Even with hookups?
Yeah, no sewer, but they do have a dump station there. But it's water and electric at most sites. There are a few dry camping sites, and those are cheap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Other question, because people should know, is proximity to Yosemite. Like I guess we mentioned before that Raymond was end of a train line that people would then take a stagecoach. I think travel nowadays is faster, but if you are driving,
You haven't ridden with me.
But for people that are trying to make it like a complete weekend and wanted to add that on, but how far is it from getting into Yosemite Valley?
Okay, so from the valley is a lot different than going up just to Wawona or the Big Trees, Mariposa Grove. So from Madera, where I am, it's an hour and 20 minutes to the south gate of Yosemite on Highway 41. From there, it's close to another hour. Actually, it is more, at least an hour to get down to the valley. So you're talking 2.5 hours from Madera, from Raymond. 2 hours. I mean, if you left from there, it would be about a two-hour drive.
Another thing, I know there's no guarantee, but a few years ago I got lucky. I was driving up to the Bay Area, and there's typically a week every year where Glacier Point is open only to
usually in April. Usually in April.
Okay, if it tends to dry out, who knows? But
it could.
So you've never had, well, I guess because you used to have it like later in the year, so you've never probably had that opportunity to overlap.
No. In April, Zach, it's believe it or not, it's borderline getting warm to ride in Raymond. I mean, you'll get some days around here in the 80s, and even though it's still, and see, since it's still green, that kind of makes it acceptable. But soon after that, it just gets blazing hot. I mean, we've ridden out there in the summertime, but it ain't fun. As fun.
Well, you're fun. So under any condition, I believe.
Well, I mean, you're on your bike, right? So, and if you have something cold to drink at the end, all the better.
Well, Henry, we are really looking forward to March 23rd. For people that are interested, if you're on the YouTube feed, I've got the link to the event below in the description to sign up for one of the courses. Is there a pay deadline or price increase?
Actually, we have a rider cap of 200. And so, and the main thing about that is we just don't have a place to park everybody. And so, without really disturbing the Raymond residents, we feel like we could safely I mean, we may fudge on that a little bit, but 200 is a soft limit for us. And we're currently at 142.
Ooh.
So there are spots left. And so I'm kind of pleased. I'm just kind of along for the ride, but I'll check it, every few days, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's okay. But you guys are in.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because you know a guy.
We know the guy.
Yeah. Well, Henry, thanks for coming on. We're really looking forward to it.
I can't thank you both enough for engaging with us and for having me on here. It's been fun, and you guys are great. We really appreciate everything that you do for us.
Yay! Thanks.
Henry, your club, you all like emboldened of what this community is supposed to be about.
100%.
We're just happy we're able to come in whenever we're able to come into town, and everyone treats us really great. So
we love having you. Gonna have a fun time on the 23rd too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sounds great.
For sure.
All right. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.